Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Xbox Factor podcast. I'm your host, MrBooMStickXL. And on today's episode, we have a fantastic bunch of topics, all Xbox related. First, we're going to talk about how Mike Ybarra responded to what the CEO of Sony had to say regarding crossplay. We're going to be talking about how Xbox Live not doing so good in the last couple of weeks when it comes to service quality. We're also going to be discussing the Shadow of the Tomb Raider themed Xbox One X console. Unfortunately, it's not made for the masses. It is made for obviously charity, and it's currently over $8,000 on eBay. So we hope that they make a lot of money. It's just disappointing that a console that gorgeous is only going to be in one person's home. And then we're going to talk about the greaseless controller. Just in case you like to eat KFC while playing Halo, the controller will not slip out of your hand. And I want to go into the adaptive controller and what the significance of it is going to be for gaming moving forward. But in order to do all of this, I needed a guest. And once again, Dean from Beyond Creating Limits has stepped up and saved the show. Unfortunately, the Welsh gamer had a family emergency, so he's not going to be here today. Dean, first and foremost, you're pushing 1,300 subs on your YouTube channel. Personally, I could not be more proud of you. I love your content. I think that you are one of YouTube's nicest people, and you deserve large amounts of success. Welcome to the show, and once again, thank you for being here.
Thanks for the invite. Like I said, I'm always happy to be on if I'm available for the time of the show. I love talking games. I love talking gaming with you. Like I said, you're one of the most unbiased people in the gaming community. Which is unfortunately a rare thing. Most of the time when you're talking to people, they always have some sort of a bias or agenda against one or the other. So it's nice to just always be able to talk, fairly against like Xbox, Microsoft, like Nintendo, Sony. And I just appreciate the support, and I'm really happy to be here. Lots of awesome topics. Forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty. It's been a while since I've done a podcast.
It's all right, dude. It's like riding a bike.
Are kicking in, but it's all good.
Oh man, it's like riding a bike, dude. You're gonna do just fine. You're awesome, and like I said, I definitely appreciate you being here. You know what? Let's jump right into it because it is a 60-minute show, and everyone that's in the chat. First and foremost, I want to give you a big shout out. I'm looking at some of the names: G-Man, Kasi 1300. Ice Queen Gaming, Almighty Spartan God, Hazard Man, the Indie Gamer, Volts. What's going on, brother? You guys are always here, and it's greatly appreciated. My channel would not have grown if it wasn't for your support. So I really appreciate that. But let's jump into the topics right away. Obviously, crossplay is a particular subject in 2018 that is not going to go anywhere. It is unfortunately not been embraced by Sony. It has been embraced with PC, Xbox, and of course, surprisingly enough, Nintendo. And Sony's CEO Kenichiro Yoshida recently made some very serious, controversial comments about crossplay, and his reasoning for it was ridiculous. And obviously, I've already did the story on my channel. In fact, everybody on YouTube is talking about it, and for good reason. But just the other day, Mike Ybarra responded to what the CEO of Sony had to say, and I just want to go over a few things of, I want to quote exactly what Mike Ybarra had to say. And I want to get the opinion of you, Dean. And I also want to get the opinion of the chat because I think that it's important. According to an article that I was able to pull, it says this: Sony still is not listening to its gamers, said Mike Ybarra. All gamers should have cross play and cross progression, and with the right input and flexibility and gamer options, it can be achieved. Now, Dean, I want to go to you immediately. Now, I understand, when you go to Twitter, right, which is, of course, it could be a great place, and it also could be a toxic minefield. And unfortunately, the toxicity of the sum of the ponies, if you will, not the the average PlayStation user, but the aggressive and nasty part of the community has basically been saying that Microsoft just wants crossplay because they're losing. And I think that is an absolute incorrect statement. But Dean, what do you think about Mike Ybarra, defending crossplay? And do you think that it's going to have relevance in the future of gaming?
Well, I fully support Microsoft and what they were saying, like how they responded to this, because I love crossplay. I think it should be something that sticks around. I think it only benefits games by adding longevity to them. Smaller games will have a bigger population because they're not going to be split between different systems. And like lots of us like all types of games. And sometimes, some smaller games actually do have a decent multiplayer, but unfortunately not enough people on like either system bought it. So you're not able to actually find the game quick enough, or like it's not going to be reliable. So if it was open to more systems, you'd be able to get more games, and the more games people are able to play, the more people will stay playing the game, because they're not going to stay with a game that's dead. So, but I think like Sony is just honestly going about this in a terrible way, and I just can't support it. It actually like pisses me off. Like the fact that some people even defend this shit just because they bring up the whole but in the past, Microsoft, they were the ones that torn it down. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, that was different people running Microsoft back then. We're not talking about
also the technology was way different. That is a good point, dude. Really good point.
Yeah, like back then, okay. No one's gonna deny like Microsoft did that. Microsoft won't even deny it. Different people in charge. Phil Spencer in charge.
Yes.
So bringing up the past doesn't do anything to help the present. So why would you defend that, like Sony, by bringing that up and be like, but it's okay. Like, it's like, what do you have against crossplay? Are you that blind to your support to Sony that you're just gonna like agree with this and not want other people to have the option, even if you don't really care that much about it? Like, every game that has crossplay, it's an option. Like, you have it in your settings if you want to tick the box or whatever to play with other people on other systems. Like Gears of War, you have the option to play with people on PC. If you don't like playing against people on PC, you don't have to. But for the people that want to get into a game quicker, honestly don't mind playing against people on PC, they have the option. Same with Fortnite. You can play people on mobile, like PC, Switch, Xbox. All of them can play together except PlayStation, because Sony is just having this agenda to think, oh, but we're the best place to play, even though we locked people's Fortnite accounts to the PlayStation, keeping their accounts hostage so they won't go anywhere. And they're meant to believe that it's the best place to play, especially when, like, I'm not going to say, like, overall, most people will know that Microsoft has, like, the better servers and everything like that. Like, Xbox Live is just a more stable thing. Like, I'm not taking shots at Sony, but for them to say something like that, it's a very bold statement, considering they're the ones that have the most online issues and
that is correct.
PSN down. It was just, not saying Xbox Live isn't perfect. They have issues too. But if you're comparing them, one is obviously better than the other. So I don't know why they'd like lie to their players and say something like that. Like,
it's definitely a wacky statement. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, like, I really wish the media like just stayed full force on stuff like this. Because if it was Microsoft, you'd see articles every day just reminding people how bad Microsoft is about something. But you don't, like, I've seen more videos than I thought I would have about the PSN crossplay stuff, which I'm happy about, but it's still not to the same extent if it was a Microsoft issue. So I think that needs to be addressed, and more people need to push on it, because I think crossplay is, like I said, it's only good. I don't see any negatives coming out of it, because, like, realistically, if it's an option, there's no reason for it to be a negative, because you can just ignore it if you don't want it there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way that it has been spun by the Sony Earth Defense Force is that is a bad thing, and that if you were to play with Xbox gamers, it would ruin your game experience in some way. I don't know, but I want to read a few things from the article that I find to be interesting. According to Mike Ybarra, he said, "We run Windows and console, larger gaming audience who wants to play together. Gaming is diverse. If you only serve to bring joy to a part of the audience, then you are behind in many, many ways." Now, this is a strong statement, and I just want to reiterate what exactly what was reported on by the Independent, who actually reviewed the CEO. His opinion, and I quote, "On cross-platform, our way of thinking is always that the PlayStation is the best place to play. Fortnite, I believe, partnered with PlayStation 4, is the best experience for users. That's our belief." And that was, again, direct quote from the Independent, who interviewed the CEO, Yoshida. Now, the problem is this. Sony has had a significant amount of success in this generation. There's no denying it. 83 million consoles sold. There's nothing to sneeze at. And they did that because they had an old mindset of thinking when it came to the way they did business. Obviously, first party support was big. That's, gaming 101.
Support from the coverage, all the media sites.
Right. The media, they won the media over. They came out of the gate swinging, with the $3.99 price tag, and they just never looked back. So, kudos to them. And I've always said it publicly. I've always been very impressed with, their marketing. But this crossplay thing, it's not going to end if Sony sticks their head in the sand and just forgets about it. The next generation is coming. And companies like Bethesda have already taken a step by not allowing their card game onto the PS4. Now, here's the thing. Everyone, I read it on Twitter and I've seen videos on it. Well, it's just a card game. It's no big deal. Well, you know what? I don't want to sound like a fortune cookie here, but every journey starts with a step, right? So, they're getting out in front of this cross-play shenanigans, and they're saying, okay, we're not allowing this card game on because it's important for the game's success to be available everywhere. So sorry, Sony fans, you're not. It's just the first step. Who's to say that it's not going to be a multi-plat title? We don't know that until the next big AAA title. Maybe Bethesda decides to say, the next Fallout or the next Skyrim is an open world game and it's cross-play across multiple devices and consoles, but Sony's not allowing it, so it's not going to be on their console. That could very well be a possibility. There's been talk about Bethesda's, holding back the next Elder Scrolls because of the technology that they're trying to incorporate into it. Who's to say that could not fall in the same lines as the Elder Scrolls card game? Dean, what is your take on that?
I'd actually love for something like that to happen with a big AAA game or something like that that has an audience where lots of people are going to be talking about it, for them to say, yeah, you don't support crossplay, and that's something that we believe in, and our game fully focuses on that. So if you're not going to allow crossplay, we're not going to release it on the PS4 or PS5 or whatever system it's coming out on. Like, the only reason why I couldn't see something like that happening, even though I wanted to, is because the player base that the PlayStation has and how expensive games are to make. Like, I feel like if a company was doing it, they'd have to have a game of chicken or something, Like, they're not really, like, they're just bluffing, They're, like, saying it, hoping that Sony will, get rid of, to allow crossplay so they do release their game. But, like, I don't think many companies would want to lose so much money because of the player base that the PlayStation 4 offers. Money wise, the game will be able to sell millions more copies if it's received well.
No, you're right. You're right on that point. You're absolutely correct. But you also got to remember that there is a large PC audience that would be supporting a game like this for a lot of reasons. One, it would be open world. It'd be like from what we hear, it's going to be a giant big MMO with obviously a single player focus. You can just like a Destiny, I would imagine, where you can go out and just chop dragons' heads off by yourself, or team up with a bunch of people and do like raids or whatever. But the PC community is very large, and they would also get behind supporting this game. So you know what? To be honest, Bethesda could throw down the gauntlets and take the L on the PlayStation and literally strong arm Sony into doing it. But you know what? I mean, again, only time is going to tell. One company stood up and they said, no, enough's enough. We have to make a statement, and they did. And I'm proud of Bethesda. I think that this is going to be big for the market moving forward. But you know what? Keeping with Sony, I want to segue into some more negative news. Now, again, granted, everyone that listens to my work knows that I'm really a positive dude. I support all three consoles, and I don't want you to think that anyone that's tuning in now, like, oh, they're just bashing Sony, typical Xbox channel. No, because I have some negative stuff to say about Microsoft, but right now we're on Sony. Now, today or this evening at 9 p.m. in the States and New York, I will be picking up my copy of Spider-Man. It is, of course, the collector's edition, which I'll be doing an unboxing. Hopefully, I can get that done Friday and put it out after Breakfast with Boom. I'll see if I have time. So I'm excited to play this game. I'm a huge MCU fan. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. No, I don't have a tattoo, but Spider-Man's always been my go-to guy since I was a kid. So I'm stoked, obviously. But, you know, Sony did some things, that are besides the crossplay controversy, they started issuing copyright claims to YouTubers this week. And why I find that to be not a good thing for the YouTube community is because I'm a small channel, right? And if I was blessed enough to be in the running to review Spider-Man, of course, I'm going to review the game for the game. I'm not going to review it because Sony gave me a free copy or I'm trying to get kudos with the PlayStation community. I'm going to review the game for the game, right? So that's what was happening. And apparently, even though the embargo had officially lifted and some YouTubers were sent copies from Sony, they didn't, again, according to the stories, there were some reviews of Spider-Man that weren't terrible. They weren't shitting on the game at all. They were basically saying that it had some pacing issues and that, it seemed repetitive. And you hear that in a lot of reviews, especially in like the bigger sites. And Sony was not happy with their review of the game and started issuing copyright claims, which, of course, some of these smaller YouTube channels got strikes. And a strike for a small channel is basically nothing short of a death sentence because, you work hard. Most YouTubers that I know put their nose to the pavement. They're always sniffing up news. They try to put a good quality product out there, and to have a copyright strike from Sony is a big deal. And it can hurt the channel significantly. Dean, I want to go to you on this because obviously we're in the same boat together. We have smaller channels, but we do break our ass when it comes to trying to put the work out there.
I'm someone that also had copyright strikes.
Okay, so I did not know that. So you know what? I'm going to go to you. How damaging was that copyright strike to you? And is this a surprising move by Sony?
Well, it's super damaging, especially when it happened to me, because unfortunately I got two at once.
Oh my God.
So for 6 months or a couple of months, I can't remember. I think it's 3 to 4 months or something like that, they last. And if you get 3 strikes, your channel instantly gets deleted. So for those few months when I had 2 of them, like, it was very demotivating and afraid to upload videos, because if I got one more strike, my channel's gone and all my videos would have been deleted. And for Sony to put out strikes on someone's channel just because they said the game was kind of repetitive, or like, I haven't even seen any negative reviews. Like, I've seen people point out issues with the game because no game is perfect.
Right.
So it's not like the people were bashing it or not recommending it. They were just giving making people aware of like the gameplay and what's going to be happening, what you're going to be doing. And every game, like most games, has some sort of repetitiveness like to it, like the type of thing that you're going to be doing over and over again. Like for most of the time, that's not a big deal if the gameplay's good and you're having fun doing it. Then you'd be able to do it for the amount of time that you want to get out of the game to make your money, like to get your purchase out of it. So for them to give strikes out on videos that we're not bashing the game and we're just letting people be more aware of the game before they bought it, I think it's gone too far because copyright strikes are serious. If any of those channels already had two, their channel could have got deleted. Just for saying something.
You know what? I actually got a question for you from the chat. Saltiest Gaming, my brother. Thank you so much for showing up, dude. You are awesome. If you're not a fan of Salty, you need to be. His channel is amazing, and he just surpassed 2,000 subs. So big kudos to him on that. His question for you, Dean, is: do strikes go away?
Yeah, they go away after a few months.
Okay, they do. Okay, I don't know.
Like if you get a copyright strike, you have to wait 3 months for it to go. But if you get another copyright strike while you already have one, like that's a separate strike. So that one's going to be 3 months from when you get that one. So like if you get two of them at kind of different times and you're still waiting a good couple of months, like if you get another one while one of them is still there, and even if there's only a few days left on it before it expires, like your channel just gets deleted. That's just how it goes.
Wow.
Unless you're someone that has like a massive channel, like say PewDiePie, for example, because he's just like he has like 50 million subscribers and shit like that. So if his channel was to somehow get insta-striked off people and his channel got deleted because he's someone so big, I'm sure that'd be instantly fixed by YouTube. But for smaller channels like us, we don't really have a big community or anything like that filled with thousands upon thousands of people to actually at YouTube, like, hey, this channel was deleted unfairly, blah, blah, blah. Like, if something like that was to happen to us, like, hopefully it doesn't, you know, there would be no way for us to more likely contact YouTube.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I got a story for that. Talking about what you're saying. I needed help with something regarding, the financial part of YouTube. And I emailed them, and surprisingly enough, after the 4th email, they did finally contact me. And in the email, they said, "Thanks for contacting support, but unfortunately, your channel is too small to get email help. So go to the forums for help." So trust me. YouTube is very quick to take the money from the ads playing on the people that are monetized like us, but getting help from them is like trying to go to a foreign country and ask for help in English, and they don't understand a word coming out of your mouth. And that's how I feel. So yeah, that's a bad deal. Of course, again, I hate to bring it up because I'm so excited for Spider-Man, but yeah, I would feel almost like I was cheating the gaming public if I didn't bring it up, because people need to know what kind of shittiness that Sony is doing. You would think that on the eve of such a big, momentous title like Spider-Man, they wouldn't do this and hurt the small people that help sell their 83 million consoles, because some of these people are multi-plat or even been Sony people. And I think it's really crummy. But you know what? I want to move on to.
Well, I just want to say something real fast.
Oh, yeah, no, please go.
Like it's also bringing like negative attention to Spider-Man where there was no negative attention needed. The game was still getting amazing reviews. Like they brought this like on Spider-Man, giving us some sort of negative light for no reason. Like I know this is something that's going to be like not many people are going to get too much into it, because as far as I know, everyone that got striked or something like that, their video got deleted or something like that, as far as I know, all those videos are open safe now, and I think the issue has been addressed. But for Sony to do something like that against reviews that weren't even bad, like, or bringing scores down, like, it was just ridiculous. Like, Spider-Man didn't deserve, like, they didn't deserve that, they didn't deserve negative attention for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's unnecessary attention to apparently a fantastic. I haven't played yet, I know a few people have gotten the copy a little early. They're playing right now, and they're loving it. The press is loving it. I've seen it as reviewed as high as 9.5 from Game Informer, and I've seen it as low as 8.0 from Gaming Bolt. I'm excited. I'm based on what I've seen. My soft review as it stands is a 9.0. I will obviously do an official review on my channel once I put at least 15, 20 hours into it. I don't want to race to beat it. I don't play games like that. I play games for fun. So I'm gonna probably play a good solid 10, 15, 20 hours, and then do a review on my channel. So look forward to that. But I want to go into Microsoft for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, we need to discuss how Xbox Live has been going down almost on a daily basis, and why this is significant. One of the things with these console wars is, everyone has checklists, right? The ponies have them, the Xbots have them, and they are the part of the community that I'm not a big fan of, because usually the nastiness in these gamers come out, and it just becomes such a shouting match that when I get tagged into one of these things, I just mute it or I just delete it, because I don't want to be around that kind of negativity. I like being a positive guy, and that's just who I am. But again, when Sony has faults, we point them out. When Microsoft has faults, I would not be the gamer that I would be, or the host of multiple shows, if I didn't point them out. So, according to the Xbox server status page, Xbox Live is having problems with purchases and content usage, as well as social and other gaming, things, if you will. Again, it's not something that's talked about a lot, because quite frankly, Xbox Live is that kind of a service that is usually 99.9%, efficient and responds well to everything. And this particular outage happened during the launch of the Destiny 2 The Forsaken DLC. So obviously the Xbox gaming community was up in arms, and for good reason, because obviously, even if you don't play Destiny, it is a big game, and the DLC, which I have not gotten as of yet, I was hoping that I'd be able to mooch a code, but that's fine. I'll pick it up maybe during a sale. It's Destiny. It's Destiny 2. It's a social experience. Whether you like Bungie and Activision or you absolutely loathe them, I hear you. But it's a big deal. So for Xbox Live to kind of crap out during the launch of a very significant DLC is just not good. Dean, I want to get your opinion on this. We talked about how Xbox Live is usually the go-to system, the service when it comes to the consoles. What are your takes on it? Because lately it's been going down regularly, especially towards the middle of August up and through September. It hasn't been as dependable. What is your take on this?
Well, like when we were talking about with Sony and their service, neither of them are perfect. And obviously Microsoft is displaying that right now. Well, not right in this instant. I'm sure Xbox Live is up and running fine. I'm lucky, I guess. I actually haven't had any issues with the Xbox or anything like that. I think maybe it's just the time that I'm on. Being from Ireland, whenever, right now it's 4:30 for me, and it's 12 or something for you, big time difference.
Yeah.
So I think either I'm in work or sleeping at the point when the servers are down. When Destiny's Forsaken expansion came out, I didn't play it at midnight when it released. I got up early in the morning and I jumped on, and if there was any server issues or anything like that, it was all fixed because I jumped on. I had no issues, and I was playing it for a few hours yesterday, and I had a great time. I think Bungie really did a good job so far from what I've played. The opening mission in that game was just excellent, so I just had to say that. Give props where props. I said negative things in the past about Destiny. So
no, listen, dude. If the game is good, if something is good, we say it's good, right? If something is bad, we don't like to harp on it, but you have to report on it. This is, people doing a YouTube channel you know, we have responsibilities as content creators to put out work that covers everything, the good, the bad, and in between. And I think that you'd be a crummy host if you didn't. So good on you that you didn't like Destiny and that you're having fun with it. I mean, that's what games are for, right, dude?
Yeah, exactly. And like I think they did do a good job. I haven't finished it. I put a good few hours into it, and I played the new multiplayer mode, and I think it's really fun. Being actually doing like some PvE/PvP with the whole invading. Like if you've seen the new mode Gambit, it's pretty fun. So back to the whole servers and stuff like that. Like I've seen people complain on Twitter and stuff like that. I've just been fortunate enough to not run into the issues due to my schedule when I'm on. It just happens to either be fixed or it hasn't happened yet. So I do hope Microsoft do get their shit together, because like I said, if I was in work and I get home from work and I was just like, I'm really tired, I just want to sit down, chill. Halo Master Chief Collection got an update, you know, the multiplayer is working. Let's jump on it. Oh no, the servers are down. Xbox Live is down. Like I'm in work in like a few hours tomorrow. I'm not gonna have time to play for like another few days, and that's what happens for people. Like you can understand why they get pissed. Like not everyone would have like availability to play games whenever they want, or they probably only have certain times every week that they know. And if the servers are down, and if Xbox Live is having issues, or if a game came out like the Destiny Forsaken like expansion and they wanted to buy it and the store's not working, like obviously they're going to be pissed off and they're going to be tweeting. Like obviously there's ways to go about giving criticism and feedback. You don't have to be like super aggressive and mean about it. But just make sure you do it in a way that, you know, you can be heard and appreciate. Like they would probably respond to it a lot. Like they would probably respond better. Like if you like don't curse every 5 seconds in the tweet, or even though we probably want it and we're like, you know, you know. So it's just like, I don't know. I just hope they get maybe, I don't know what they're doing. They're probably doing some back end stuff.
That's what I was actually thinking, that there might have been some service related back end stuff that they were doing, and it just, you know, service problems happen. Let's hope that you know, everything is good to go. You know, we do have Tomb Raider next week, which is I really cannot wait for that game. I'm so excited. It's for me, it's as big as Spider-Man. And I'm going to segue again. This is the job of the host, into the special edition Shadow of the Tomb Raider Xbox One. Now, I don't know if anyone in the chat has seen this. I mean, this is, oh my God, this
beautiful.
This is a custom console that I would so like move furniture to display. The problem is this: it's only one of a kind, and it is again, you know, kudos to Microsoft that they make these one-of-a-kind consoles and they put them up on auction. And, you know, obviously all of that money goes to charity. So, you know what? You tip your hat to Microsoft, because they're always thinking about, you know, about the real people of the world. You know what I'm saying? Different charities. They're always doing something for the people of the world. And I really love that. But as a fan, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little frustrated, because this console is, you know, if you thought the Gears of War Xbox One S was gorgeous, this trumps it 10 times over. And currently it's at $8,000 on eBay. So whoever is getting this is either massively rich. I mean, who knows if they're even a gamer? I mean, the fact that someone's bidding $8,000 to donate to charity, again, I tip my hat to you, because if I had it, I would do the same thing. But I kind of feel, you know, I feel cheated as a fan of Tomb Raider. I kind of wish there was a real legitimate, you know, console exclusive, because, you know, shout out to my brother Neo Mental, who I'm not sure if he's in the chat. We were talking on the phone the other day, and you know, we were talking about Sony's, you know, 83+ million consoles they've sold. And he brought up a good point. And he said, you know, Boom, you know, the press and the ponies keep saying it's 83 million consoles, but it's not 83 million players. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, think about it. How many PlayStation 4s have you owned? I'm like, well, I had launched PS4 vanilla, got the Destiny white one, right? The custom console. I love Destiny. I bought it. got the PS4 Pro, and then got the Kratos God of War custom console. So I've owned 4. My brother has owned 4. I know a lot of people. Mooch is another example. Has owned multiple. In fact, he's owned at least 4 that I know, and he's getting the Spider-Man one today. Crap Gamer, who apparently, you know, everyone says he hates PlayStation, but he's buying that console too. So there are a significant amount of players that bought multiple PlayStation 4. So now why am I bringing it up when this is an Xbox show? Well, here's the point, folks. The point is this. I have one Xbox One X, right? If there would have been a custom Sea of Thieves console, I would have purchased that, right? And I would have taken my launch Scorpio edition and put it in the room. And if there was going to be let's say a Tomb Raider that looked like it had the Aztec printing on there with vines and different things, I would have taken my Scorpio edition, brought it to GameStop, sold it, and bought another Xbox One X because it was a custom console. And I think this is one of the reasons. I mean, listen, you could talk about first-party problems all you want. Microsoft is addressing that. But the sales part of the Xbox, you know, brand of consoles, to me anyway, seems to be hindered by they're just all black consoles, you know, with a game, you know, or a white console with a game. You know, people will double, triple, quadruple dip on custom consoles. Dean, I want to get your point on this. Are custom consoles important, and should Microsoft, you know, kind of fix the path that they're on regarding them?
Yeah, I think custom Xboxes go like a long way to get people to buy them. Like if it's a specific franchise that you're attached to, like you're definitely gonna get. Like I didn't have the money for that Gears of War S when that came out, but I really wanted it. I totally would have bought it like instantly. And if I had the money, I would have just traded in my old Xbox One to get money off it, and I would have had Gears of War Xbox One S because number one, they stand out, they look different. Like Microsoft consoles usually look amazing. Like there have been some that weren't perfect, but whenever they do fully invest in doing an exclusive console for whatever game that's coming out, they usually tend to look amazing with like a cool controller, and they always have some sort of gimmick. Probably like the Gears of War one with the sound effects, the Minecraft one with the sound effects. When you turn it on.
Yes.
Like they go all in when they do like allow the company to have their budget like put towards making an exclusive console. Like they go all in on it, and that's what makes it stand out. Like with PlayStation, whenever they do it, and most of the time it's just like a different skin on it. I'm not saying it looks bad. Like sometimes they look pretty cool. Like the PlayStation one looks nice. If you like Spider-Man, like that looks cool.
Yes,
they don't fully invest as much as Microsoft do when they go all in on a console.
Great point. Really great point, because you're 100% right. That Minecraft, I'm not a Minecraft fan, but if I saw it cheap, I would pick it up and maybe not even open it. That Minecraft custom Xbox One S is gorgeous, especially if you're a fan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like that's what I'm saying. Minecraft is a game that I haven't played in ages, but my fiance Santa, she loves Minecraft. She hasn't played it in ages either, but like whenever I did play it, like I'd play with her and she'd build everything and I pretend I built it, not really. No, but like I suck at that game, but I'm familiar with it. I like it. And like I thought the console when Microsoft showed it, I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing. I want it. Like even though Minecraft isn't like up there as like one of the best games that I love and adore, like I appreciate everything that game's done since it came out, and when a console looks that sick, I'm like, I want that in the sitting room. I want that on display.
Yes.
Like it's so cool, and like you just don't get that with some of the PlayStation consoles. Like sometimes they're average, and most of the time you see the Halo one and like the Tomb Raider one that they're displaying there, they went all in on that. It looks amazing. Like they need to invest more. Like Sea of Thieves is a game that definitely should have had one. Like it's so stupid that they didn't. Like they were meant to be fully on board with Rare coming back with their brand new IP, and yet they don't. Like Sea of Thieves would look perfect as a console. Like imagine a big pirate themed Xbox. Like and they can have built-in rare sound effects for our older games. Like there's so much they could have done. Like when you turn it on, you'll hear like the Banjo-Kazooie theme or something, like it's just a rare
Killer
themed
Instinct
console.
theme or something. Yes,
Yeah,
I
like,
absolutely do. Great points, man. Really great points.
like there's just so much they can do. Like they have so many franchises. Like they own so like because they own Rare. Like Rare in itself, they created 30 IPs or something. Like they have a library of games like from Banjo Kazooie, Perfect Dark, Battletoads. Like the list goes on, and that's just with Rare. Then they have Halo, Gears, Fable. Like there's so many things they can make into consoles, but they're just not doing it.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
mean, you know
Halo,
what? You're 100% right, dude. Now keep it going.
yeah, if like Halo Infinite, whenever that game comes out, if it's for the next Xbox or whatever it is, if that doesn't have a custom console, like that's BS. Like it's like ridiculous. The biggest Halo game that like by the time that comes out, because I don't think it's going to be out next year, so probably 2020. So Halo 5 came out in like 2015, was it? 2016? Like it came out a few years ago now.
2015, I think.
So by the time that it'd probably be like 5 years since the last Halo game when Halo Infinite comes out. So that'd be like a long way. So people like would either have an old Halo console and they want to upgrade. Like they're definitely want to get the Halo Infinite console. You know, like that could look sick. It's going back to the original art style. Like there's so much they can do with a console. You know, and even if they added in similar sound effects that were on the older ones, like the fans wouldn't mind because they love the sound effects.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what they like. So there's just so much they can do. I really hope they push it. Like I'm like you've made countless like videos. You talked about it on shows like how much you think Microsoft need to invest in the consoles. I'm sure lots of other people have. Like I'm sure there's a voice, and they have to have heard some people like talk about it. And I really hope it's something that next year with their bigger games coming out next year, hopefully they have some bundles because it does take time. Maybe they didn't have enough time to get it for these, to get like for Sea Thieves, etc. Because they only started to get more money to invest. So hopefully we get to see that with the consoles next year, like Crackdown. That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know if they're going to, but I want to give a shout out to the Mooch and Crap. Right before the Sea of Thieves game launched, they had Craig Duncan on M&C Mornings, that's a huge get. And they interviewed him, and during the interview, they asked him about, how come Sea of Thieves didn't get a custom console, and talking, he said it that there's a lot of planning behind it, and if you listen to the interview, he almost alluded, and I believe he said something to the effect that Microsoft has to have a significant amount of confidence in a title to launch a custom console around that, and it's one of those things that you hate to keep bringing up Sony on an Xbox show, but every time they have a big game coming out, they have a custom console, even if it's just a sticker. It's people, the fans are still buying them. So the tactics, the sales tactics are working because there are multiple PlayStation owners who have multiple PS4s because they're fans, and I think that the Xbox community, who has been screaming for custom consoles, would be in the same boat. Again, it's frustrating, but you know what?
Wait, I just wanted to say, I call BS on the whole Microsoft confidence thing with CTAs. Like, they totally should have had confidence in CTAs.
Absolutely.
Because at all the E3 shows that game was at, that won awards, people were so, like, everyone was talking about the multiplayer and the ship-to-ship combat, like, and how amazing the water looked. Like, there was, like, I haven't seen the community, like, the media promote or talk positive about a Microsoft game from E3 like as much as I did Sea Thieves in ages. Like it's only until the game released and people weren't happy with the lack of content that it had when it released that the media started to like kind of sway on it a little bit. But until it released, like it was getting nothing but positive like stuff and people talking about and how hyped they are to like be a pirate and explore the world because everyone thought there was going to be a lot more in it. But from what they've seen and until it launched, there was nothing but confidence and things from like people promoting it and talking about it. That should have been enough. Like, what else would they want at that point? Like, because it's obviously not going to get, if it's a new IP, it's obviously not going to get like Halo sort of, like views and stuff like that. But it should have been enough to warrant a console.
I agree. You know what? Even if they keep it to a limited, let's say, I don't know, 10,000, 25,000, whatever, they would make their money back, because there would not be any laying around. If you don't want to make 10 million of them, I hear you. I understand it's a cost, but limit them. Put them available for pre-order only on the Microsoft store, or only, like store specific locations, GameStop exclusive. It's gonna sell. People are gonna buy custom consoles. But you know what? Like I said, dude, I think we've beaten it to death. I want to talk about something that, well, actually, this is a double-edged sword story that I'm going to come up with. It revolves controllers. I know, big deal, controllers. We're all sick of them. But the first story is something that I take very serious. The adaptive controller basically shocked the world when it was unveiled a couple of months ago, and I think that this device is so important to the world. Now, again, I'm not going to get on my soapbox here and start crying, but I have to say that this is an emotional subject, because gaming is supposed to be for everyone. And unfortunately, due to illness and handicaps, gamers were left out in the cold. And Microsoft, in their just incredible ways of being so forward-thinking, decided to take a team of engineers and make something that is going to change someone's life. You understand what I'm saying? Whether, there are so many people that have missing limbs, right? Or are born with handicaps that are just not their fault. But why shouldn't they be allowed to play games? Right? Why should it just be people with 2 thumbs and 2 hands? And this adaptive controller is just, what an amazing piece of technology. Like I said, I can't stand up. I'm the host, and I can't clap because I don't want to sound unprofessional. But if I could stand up and applaud Microsoft, or have a 99-cent app like Mooch, yeah, there you go, and applaud them for this, I would, because you know what? This makes me proud to be a Microsoft fan. It makes me proud to be an Xbox gamer, and I think that everyone, and I again, double-edged sword, because we're going to talk about something on the back end of this that I'm not a fan of, but this is an amazing piece of technology that is going to open the door. And gaming changes people's lives. People don't understand that. You could be having a horrible day at work. You come home and you game for an hour, and you know what? Those problems have gone away. They're in the back burner. They're not as serious. You could have an argument with your spouse, and you just needed 30 minutes playing a shooter to kind of just get that out there, and you walk away and you're like, you know what, honey, or husband, wife, whatever, I thought about it, I'm sorry, whatever, and you make up and you keep it moving. Bills are choking you, and you don't have enough for a game, but you have enough games on your console that you can play. And just for that moment, just for that small moment that your mind isn't on what is hurting you, you're thinking about gaming and you feel better. And I think that feeling does not get talked about enough. It is an emotion that is as powerful as any you could imagine. And it's fantastic that gamers of all shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, sexes, and handicaps can now play their Xbox unhindered. And, I want to get your take on it. Again, I can go on for 2 hours with this, people. This is a big subject for me. I love people. I love gaming. And I think it is for everyone. Dean, I want to get your take and what your opinion on this is.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Microsoft, when they announced the adaptive controller, I was completely blown away by it. Like, I think I watched the video like 3 times the day, like in the hour that the video was uploaded. And I was just like so amazed and like happy for other people. Like, some people I seen in the comments, like selfish people, really just like, oh, you're making this but not a new exclusive. Like, how like rude and mean, like whatever. Like, this isn't for you. This is for millions of people that don't have the luxury to have that easy access that something like that I have and others have, like, being able to hold a controller properly and just being able to play a game. This is making it, easier for them to have the option if they want to play games, like, and for people to take a negative spin on it, like, it's just ridiculous and pisses me off. Like, I read comments like that and I'll just get super angry. Like, it's just I'll never understand. But when this did get announced, the one thing that I was not too happy with was the media coverage. Like,
yes, please go with that, because that's important.
Like, I was so annoyed, and still am to this day. Like, even now, it's not seen on Atten. Like, this is so amazing and so mind blown. Like, more people should know about it. Like, like Microsoft just made this amazing controller that is making millions of people have the option to game again if they weren't able to in the past, and or they struggle to game, or it hurts them whatever way they have to hold the controller. Like, this has given so many people the option to play the way they want to play, because there's so many different ways you can use this controller from what they showed in the video. So when the media just didn't pick it up as well as they should have, or covered it as long, because like stupid articles and stupid like Puddlegate and stuff for Spider-Man, where they talk about it for ages and ages, something that's irrelevant and not important, but something that can change the lives for millions of people, like, doesn't get coverage longer than a week, or like, it's just ridiculous. Like, so many people don't even know this controller exists, and that's what hurts. Like, this controller, like it makes me emotional, like, because I'm just happy that it exists, and happy that other people get the chance to use it. And the fact that it hasn't been picked up, I'm afraid that not many people know about it. So there could be people that would want something like this, but they're not aware of it being like a thing, because no one's talking about it, unless they are already fans of Xbox. And they happen to follow Microsoft and stuff like that, and they've seen the announcement themselves, or hopefully it somehow ended up in their recommended videos or something like that, because the media didn't do anyone justice by covering this story. That's what I have to say. But nothing but positive things from Microsoft investing the money and doing this, and anyone that complains about it, I just think you're a bad person. Like, it doesn't have to deal with you if you don't need it. It's for someone else.
You know what? I agree, and you know what? While you were talking, I put on mute because I wanted to test the waters to what we're saying, because I like being as politically correct as well as informationally correct, if you will. So I did a Google search. Now, when you do that, you're pretty much usually going to get a lot, right? You're going to usually get a ton of information. You have to scroll, and then you find what you want. Well, regarding the adaptive controller, only two media outlets, according to the search that I did, which is supposed to bring up everything about the controller, came up from one day ago. One is from IGN. Not surprising. They are the biggest gaming, news source in the world. And you know what? Hate them, like them, whatever. It is what it is. And TechCrunch are the only two that did stories. Now, you said something, and I want to kind of reiterate on it. When Microsoft does something stupid, it's front page news everywhere. Puddlegate on the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. Puddles removed. It was nonstop for what seemed like a week and change. Right, everywhere you look, there was an article. A controller that could logistically change someone's life of this significance, not being covered by the media, is a crime against humanity, and I think it's disgusting. And you know what? Again, I'm a small channel. I have no say. I have literally no connections. But shame on you, media, for not getting in front of this and banging drums for everyone to see how important this is for gaming. It's disgusting that in 2018, Puddlegate could dominate everything, regarding media, and something that could change a person's life and give them joy is literally not even touched upon. It's disgusting. So, if you have nothing else, Dean, I kind of want to segue into the second part of this. Do you have anything left to say about the adaptive controller?
If I ever have the money at some point, I'll probably get one just to like see how awesome it looks. Like a good controller overall for anyone to
Yeah, it does.
use.
It looks very quality. The parts that come with it are just it looks amazing. But you know what? Again, I want to continue on to the second part of the where there are times where I want to cheer Microsoft, and there are times where I kind of want to bury my head in the sand of embarrassment. Yesterday, I saw commercials for the greaseless controller that they're releasing. And I understand that it has something to do with PUBG because they kept throwing pieces of chicken at it. They kept showing it doused in oil. Now, again, I'm not insulting anyone, but I'm going to say this. In the history of life, for me personally, I have never sat on my couch with a bucket of KFC and decided to take my greasy palms and pick up a controller that I needed Microsoft to make a greaseless controller. And what makes matters worse isn't so much of what it is, where it's a greaseless controller, which is ridiculous. The fact that it looks as horrendous as it does. It is a pale gray with yellow buttons. Now, I don't know who decided to pick this up and said, this is the controller's color scheme that we want, but it's a big fail for me. Now, I sent you the article right before we went live. I'm not sure if you saw it. I think the commercial is absolutely ridiculous. And again, if you follow me and I insulted you, I am not doing it on purpose. Again, I report the news fairly. Same way I'm going to talk about the adaptive controller being the greatest thing I've ever seen created in gaming, and I've been gaming for 40 years. I have to step out and say, this is an embarrassing moment where, they already have the stigma that they're the controller company, right? Not the game company. That's what the media runs with. That's what the ponies run with. But then to have the greaseless controller and then the chicken being thrown at it and it being poured, oil being poured on it like it's a model, I don't know. Dean, what is your take on this?
Well, if you're someone that doesn't like having people over in case they're eating takeaway or something, and then they pick up your controller with greasy hands, you know what controller you need to get. Just keep it there. It's like that controller is yours to use. You filthy. Yeah, I don't know. Like the look of it, I don't think it looks nice. It looks like a bad design on Design Labs overall. I think it doesn't look attractive. Like it's a thing that exists, I guess. I wouldn't get it. But for people that don't like getting up to wash their hands after eating, I guess this controller is for your lifestyle, I guess. So I get it. I don't know. Like the fact that this exists is just like I'm speechless. It's like, well, I guess they saw money to invest in this, but not into a CAT's console. I don't know. Like it's just how they choose to do these things. I don't know. But overall, yeah, like I don't think the console looks nice. I'm not gonna be getting it. It looks like a bad Design Lab controller. Like you go on the front page on Design Labs, you're gonna be seeing so many more controllers that look better than this that other people done. And then you look at this and it's like, God, this is awful. Like Microsoft, are you really selling this for this price? Like it's ridiculous. But that's just my opinion.
No, it's a good one. I want to first of all, I want to shout out Jago, good friend of mine, good friend of the channel. He actually is the one that gave me this story because I didn't even know about it. He sent it to me through DM, so big shout out for him. He says KFC controller, which of course made me laugh. Now, Idle Sloth, who's also a big fan of the show, and cannot thank him enough for always being here. He's saying that in the chat, the grease-proof controller is limited to 200 units only, and it's a special edition to celebrate the PUBG 1.0 launch. I didn't know it was. I actually did not know that it was only 200. But again, the way that they made a big deal with the commercial and everything, I highly doubt it's only going to be 200. I just think that if you're going to make a special edition PUBG controller, make a special PUBG controller. Don't make a grease-proof controller and then and get cheeky with it by throwing chicken pieces and stuff at it. I just think that it's bad marketing. Microsoft is not usually, I mean, they're used for this generation. Their marketing really has not been that great. This is another perfect example of why And again, I don't like ending the show on, you know, on a negative note, but, you know, I have to report the news. This has been a very, very, very slow week regarding news at all.
I can think of a positive note to end it on.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go for it, brother.
Just like something I thought of there when after we were talking about the Xbox adaptive controller. It's like I remember seeing an article. I think it's true. Like the price they're going to be selling it at, like Microsoft are going to be selling it for a loss, which I think is cool if it's true. Like like I seen this like a while ago when it was announced. But if it's true, like they're selling it at a loss, so it's more affordable for people, so they can actually get it and use it, which I think is amazing. So take that with a grain of salt.
No, I think you're absolutely right, because they want everyone to play. And I said that in you know, when talking about it originally, everyone deserves to play games. It should not be for one demographic and not for another. And this is, again, it's just, man, I'm just, it's one of those moments. I understand. I mean, I'm not getting any money from Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? I don't even get games to review from Microsoft for that matter. But I have to say that you know, in this world, as horrible as this world can be, and it has been terrible in 2018 with the different things that go on everywhere in all parts of the world. This is a story that should be celebrated. And Microsoft should be put on someone's shoulders and carried down the block, because this is a big step in gaming, and the fact that no one is really talking about it is sad. But you know what? Look, I honestly cannot believe an hour has gone already. I had an absolutely fantastic show. If I did have another topic just to keep it going, I would. But you know, it's you know what? I actually do have one more topic, and we talked about this. You know what? I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna extend the show just a little bit. Okay, only because you're a fan, I'm a fan, the world is a fan. Let's talk Netflix Witcher series, which just cast Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, and I think that this is big. I mean, we're talking about the guy that played Superman is going to play one of the most iconic gaming characters, literally one of the most sought after and beloved games in this generation. The Witcher 3 is getting a live action series on Netflix. I'm excited for it. Even though I've never finished The Witcher 3, I think it is this generation's literally golden nugget, if you will, gem in the crown of crowns for storytelling and graphics and just everything about it. Let me get your take on this casting, and how big is this for Netflix and the Witcher series, dude?
The fact that they're getting such a big actor who's pretty relevant, obviously, right now with the whole DC universe. I'm not going to get into how that's doing, but, you know, he's pretty relevant. So, yeah, like, this is just amazing. And the fact that he is a fan of The Witcher just makes it that much better. Like, there was a interview not too long ago, a few months ago, where IGN were the ones that asked him, like, yeah, because Netflix announced that they were working on the Witcher series, but no one has been casted yet. And they were like, "Would you be interested in being cast in the Witcher TV show?" And he said, "Yeah." He was talking about it, and he read all the books and everything like that for the Witcher series. And then fast forward a few months, he's cast. So because that blew up, because there was lots of stuff on it after that interview, and now he actually is cast as Geralt of Rivia. So I don't know if he was already in talks with Netflix when this happened, but he's someone that actually is a gamer. Like, there's the whole story that when he got cast for Superman, he missed the phone call from Zack Snyder because he was playing World of Warcraft. So,
oh, that's hilarious, dude! I didn't even know that.
Like, there's just like when someone actually likes the content, like, he's a fan of The Witcher, and he's going to be in The Witcher. So I hope if he has any sort of power, being like the big actor that he is on the show, like if they're making any sort of decisions that just seem out of place, and if he's familiar with like what The Witcher is, he read the books, like hopefully he'd be able to say something like that, stop something bad from happening, you know, type of thing. But yeah, like, it's only a good thing having such a big name attached to this. More people that are fans of his will watch The Witcher regardless, more likely because they're a fan of him. They'll check it out for sure, especially if you already have a Netflix account. Like, it's not that dear. They already, like, they add, it's like, it's like every day a fucking new Netflix original is there. Like, so, like, they're gonna totally check it out because it's gonna be a big budget show. I'm sure Netflix are gonna invest a shit ton of money into this because some of the stuff already on their, like, that they have on their service, like some of their shows already look like a big budget show. So I can see them investing more with a series that is well known, and this can be their Game of Thrones. This could be their big show that would push people to subscribe to Netflix. Yeah. And I just can't wait for it. I hope they take their time. I hope they don't rush it, and I hope they think carefully about who they cast for Yennefer, Triss. Yeah, and just who they, like, the horse for Roach. You know, that's very specific.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna say this. There's a YouTube channel that I'm a ginormous fan of, Comic Book Cast. They are fantastic, and again, they don't need me to pimp them out because they're 500,000 subs, so they don't need little old BoomStick to say go and sub them. But if you're a gaming fan, if you're a movie fan, especially in the superhero genre, I definitely highly recommend getting out there and checking out Comic Book Cast. They are phenomenal. They did a story just recently, I think it was just the other day, about the Henry Cavill casting. And you know how a lot of people say that his demeanor as Superman was, just very, like, slatish, like it is what it is. Well, that obviously was due to writing. That really wasn't his fault. But he would be, I think he's going to be able to really take the Witcher character to a next level because he has that demeanor. And obviously if they do the makeup right, he's going to look just like him. The guy is an Adonis, so he fits the build. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great cast. I'm very interested to hear who they're going to co-sign with the other cast members like Yennefer and everyone else that they're gonna need for the series. It's gonna be very interesting. But you know what? I want to just do a couple of thank yous. First and foremost, I have to thank UK Dazarus for always being the moderator of this show and keeping it clean. It goes a long way, and it at least for me, it will never be understated how important he is as a friend to me, but also to the entire community. So if you're not sub to his channel, go check out his work. He does a lot of retro stuff, and he really is the moderator of the universe because he does do this on his own time. And you know what? I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I want to shout out the entire chat. Everyone was so active, and I just love everyone in it. I really do. I truly, truly appreciate you coming out and supporting this adventure that I've been on since November of last year. And of course, I could not have done today's show without Dean once again. Dean, we've become very good friends. We met each other on Coffee Casuals and Consoles, and it is we've had a friendship build from there. And then you've come on numerous times for numerous different projects I've tried with Breck, on my channel, and you saved the day today because obviously Welsh Gamer had a family emergency, and life happens. So best wishes to him. Hopefully everything does work out. But Dean, please tell everyone where they can continue to support you on your YouTube channel and follow you on Twitter.
YouTube is Creating Beyond Limits. You can click on my name in the chat. I do gaming videos, reaction videos, stuff like that whenever I get a chance to. The most recent game review I did was For Honor because it was Games with Gold. I think it still is. So if you're interested in checking that out, because I think the game is still worth playing in 2018. Yes. I do plan on doing a review for the expansion or covering it in some sort of way on my channel for, like, I think it should be talked about because if they did good, I want to let people know that they did good, type of thing. The newest thing that I have on my channel that I'm really trying to push is I have a new series on the channel called Netpicks. This is a series I do with Samantha, my fiance, and we just have a great time doing it. It's a weekly show. Every week I'm going to be recommending we're going to be recommending a movie and TV show to watch on Netflix.
Nice, dude. That's great.
the first 2 episodes are already on the channel, with the third one coming out tomorrow. So if you have a Netflix account and you're always like flicking through shit, like what to watch, and you don't know, we've seen a lot of interesting movies and shows that we'd like to recommend. The way it works is 1 week I'm going to be recommending a movie, and she'd be recommending a TV show in that episode. Then it will rotate. So next week I'll be recommending a TV show, and she'd be recommending a movie. So every week there'll be at least a movie and a TV show. So if any of them interest you, you can watch it on Netflix if you have a Netflix account. So it's just something that we like doing, and it's fun, and we're getting more out of our Netflix that we're doing it. So, you know, win-win. And people can always recommend stuff for us to watch.
Nice.
In the comments on the videos. So, yeah, so I just wanted to say thanks again, Boom, for the invite. I always have a fantastic time talking games. The time literally flies through. And, like, it's been a while since I've been on a show. And, yeah, whenever you want us on a show, just let us know. And if I'm available, I'll jump on. And if anyone in the chat has a podcast and you're interested in getting me on, just let me know.
Yep, hit up Dean in the DM. Like I said, he's a good dude, very knowledgeable in gaming, but he does cover everything. So that's why I really enjoy having you on, Dean. You bring something special to the show, and again, I cannot thank you enough. Before we head out, do me a favor, everyone. You know, I'm trying to make the channel grow, and I'm trying to get more subs. You know, again, the more subs I get, the more ads are played, and the more YouTube will pay the pennies that they pay. They don't pay a lot. I still haven't gotten a dime as of yet. And I really want to offer giveaways. So, you know, tweet this out, share this on social media. Please hit the thumbs up button. I don't say that enough. I know Mooch is always getting on me for that, you know, hitting the like button, because it does matter. You know, if you didn't like it and I said something that offended you, please, I encourage you, hit the thumbs down. Don't hit thumbs up just to be a part of like a sheep and be a part of the herd. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. I can take it. I'm a big boy, and if there's something I'm doing that you don't fancy, I will rectify that, because I really want to put out a quality show. But you know what? I'll end it with that. I want to thank everyone in the chat. I want to thank my special guest, Dean. And I will see you tomorrow morning on Breakfast with Boom. Thanks again for everyone popping on and hanging out. Later.